Okay, so what you see on the screen here is a person named Paula Williams. Paula Williams used to be a man and apparently is no longer a man. Paula claims that it is easier being a man than it is being a woman. It is better being a man than it is being a woman. Um, and I'm going to challenge those claims because Paula doesn't bring any evidence to the table. Paula only uses anecdotes. First off, Paula comes from a religious family and is highly religious. Used to be a preacher, used to be on television preaching. So I'm going to call crazy right there. I know that a lot of people are religious, and even my wife is religious, and a lot of you listening to this may be religious. But I mean, you believe in something for which there is zero evidence. I mean, literally, there's no physical evidence. There's no empirical evidence. So right there, you're willing to believe things which aren't necessarily real. I look for evidence when I make decisions on things. Um, Paul claims that at the age of 3 or 4, it was apparent. It was parents trans being trans was apparent, and I'm like, how would you even know that at 3 or 4? I barely knew that girls were a thing at 3 or 4. I don't understand how that was apparent to this individual. 3 or 4 years old, and you wanted to change to the opposite gender. Yeah, I have seen some pretty strong cases of transgenderism. I mean, I remember many years ago now, I saw this. I probably should look into this person now and see where they're at. But this girl was 5, this boy was 5, but I mean, was full on dressed like a girl, acted like a girl, claimed was a girl. Okay, I don't know what to tell you about that. I think there's probably something wrong with that person somehow. I don't think they deserve to be punished or hurt in any way because of that, but something probably going on there that we need to figure out how to fix. One thing that Paula brings up is the toilet. Men never worry about their clothing falling into the toilet because when Paula was a man, or at least acting like a man, I don't know if Paula is completely trans or not, transitioned or not. Uh, Apparently, never worried about clothing falling into the toilet. I worry about my clothing falling into the toilet. Perhaps it's not as big of a worry or as much of a logistical worry as it is for women because my clothes tend to be rather short. I don't wear dresses or skirts. I don't wear long scarves, etc. You know, but I do worry about things falling into the toilet. I do worry about my clothes falling into the toilet too. Another thing that Paula brings up is haircuts, claiming that women get their hair cut twice. I'm sorry, less often than men. Women get their hair cut half as often as men. That's what the claim is. But the haircuts cost 10 times more. Well, you don't have to get your hair cut. You don't. There's no law requiring you to get your hair cut or how often you get your hair cut. My wife gets her hair cut once a year and it does not cost her 10 times what it costs me to get my hair cut. If she were spending $200 on a haircut, I would be pissed. Believe me, that's not happening. It does cost more, maybe 3 or 4 times more, maybe even 5 times more, but it doesn't cost 10 times more. And she only does it once a year, whereas I get my haircut 12 times a year. So yeah, I spend more money on haircuts than women do. This is just hearkening to the pink tax. Of course, she's paying homage or whatever. She's giving that lip service to the pink tax, which has been thoroughly debunked by a YouTuber called Teal Deer. Recommend you check out his channel. He's got a lot of really good information on there about various subject matter. Let me see. She does say that men can never know what it's like to walk in a woman's shoes, and women can never know what it's like to walk in men's shoes. Nobody can know what it's like to walk in anybody else's shoes. And two of the big things that were talked about by Paula were very much anecdotal situations to Paula, claiming that these things don't happen to men. Paula claimed that he's flown a lot. Right? Paula's flown a lot, a ton, throughout working. And so gets onto an airplane and there's somebody's property in her seat. So she picks up the property and the man says, "Hey, that's my seat. What are you doing?" Or no, says, "Hey, that's my stuff. What are you doing?" And she says, "Well, it's in my seat." And he says, "No, that's my seat." And she says, "No, it's my seat." And back and forth this goes, and the guy behind in line is like, "Hey, lady, take your argument elsewhere." Okay. And she, "I never got this kind of treatment when I was a man, blah, blah, blah." Well, as soon as I questioned somebody on their boarding pass, they would check it immediately, and then we would work the situation out. And in this case, the flight attendant had to step in. I get this treatment constantly. This kind of treatment is like every freaking day. I walk outside, and there's people coming up to me that I've never seen before, just bitching at me. So this has nothing to do with you being a girl. First off, why are you touching somebody else's property? Period. You keep your hands off of other people's stuff. I don't care where it is, unless it's in your personal property. You do not touch other people's property. That airline seat is not your personal property, so you don't touch anything in that seat. You ask, "Is it? I'm sorry, sir. Is this your property?" "Yes, it's mine." What of it?" That's what he would probably say. "Well, it's in my seat." "Oh, I'm sorry. We could work this out." Now he didn't want to do that. He wanted to be a jerk. That's my seat. The guy behind her was a jerk. Take your argument elsewhere. Clearly, these people have an issue that they have to figure out right here, right now, before they can move on and let this other person board. So that guy behind was a jerk. It has nothing to do with you being female, because believe me, I've run into these same situations, and I will talk about them in a moment. Another situation that Paula talks about is the takes the bike into the shop and like, "Hey, my bike can the frame be bent over time?" And the guy was like, "Oh, your brake is rubbing. It's because you don't get your brake pads adjusted." "Oh no, I adjust my brake pads." "Oh well, you got a bent rotor." "No, no, I know I got a bent rotor." "Well, what do you want me to do to help you?" Well, you can answer my question. Okay, this is again is behavior that I get all of the freaking time. Treatment I get all the freaking time. People are freaking jerks. People are such giant, huge jerks, and they need to be smacked upside their head until they stop being jerks. Okay, the guy wasn't listening to her. Um, I would have, he maybe he should have approached it differently. But the first thing he could say is, "Oh, have you gotten your brake pads adjusted?" Instead of saying you need to get your brake pads adjusted. But I don't know. I'm not in his situation, and maybe he did say that. This is a recounting from Paula, and maybe Paula is incorrect. Um, and he didn't answer the question, but he was trying to figure out the problem. At least he was trying to figure that out in the beginning, anyway. Now, okay, let's talk about two situations that I've been. You want to talk about anecdotes? Okay, let's talk about anecdotes then. Okay, this one happened a while back. I was at a bookstore, and I was with a friend of mine. My friend had the not the Breaking Fire, but the Catching Fire book for the Hunger Games, right? And and my friend she asked me, "Hey, you like science fiction, fantasy, blah blah blah? Any good books?" I'm like, "Yes, there's this great series you can read." And I went to look for it, and I couldn't find it. And I'm like, "Hey, guy who works here, can you help me find this book?" And he's like, "We don't carry that book, sir, because it's not popular." That book that was written 30 years ago, the series is still being written in today. The author is still writing that series today, continuing to write that series today. That's how popular it is. The author went from rags to riches, living in a beach house in Florida because of that series of books. He's like, "Oh yeah, they're not popular," and I kept arguing with me about it too. I kept bringing up no, it's. I'm telling him the same thing. It's been around forever. It's really popular. No, no, we don't carry that type of books. Or finally, I convinced him to look up the book, and he found it. Sure enough, they had made a new section in the bookstore that I didn't know about, that they put that book in. So yeah, this jerk behavior happens with clerks all the time. Another situation, more recent, much more recent. My job, there is an employee lot, but I go in late, so usually the employee lot is full. So I just park in the public lot, which I can validate and not have to pay. I validated my ticket. I went to pull out, and the gate went to charge me. I run back up the ramp, and I tell the parking attendant, "Hey, the gate is trying to charge me, but I'm staff." And I showed him my badge. I'm staff. And he's like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. You gotta get your ticket validated." I'm like, "I got my ticket validated." "No, yeah, but you got the wrong validation." "No, no, I didn't get the wrong validation. I see them validate tickets all day long. I know which one is mine, where they're supposed to validate for me, whereas where it's different from when they validate for a person who's not an employee." And he's like, "No, no, no, you got the wrong validation. You gotta take care of this yourself." And I'm like, "I did not get the wrong validation. Dude, seriously, I didn't get the wrong validation. It doesn't matter. I'm staff. Every other parking attendant there is like, 'Oh, you're staff. Don't worry about it. I'll open it up for you.'" This guy, this jerk, He's like, no, you gotta get it validated. And I show him the ticket. He goes down. I show him the ticket, and sure enough, who was right? Me. I got it validated correctly because I'm not stupid, and it was charging me anyway. And so he had to go all the way back up that ramp, and then he had to go ahead and open the gate for me because he wanted me to go back and get it revalidated because his machine didn't work right. Idiot. So he gets what he deserves. This sort of behavior happens all the time. People are assholes. Let me tell you something else. How poorly people treat me as a man, as a freaking man. Um, I've never done. You can check my criminal record. I've never done anything. Never done anything. I've never been in trouble with the law. Clean cut, educated individual. And I've lived away from my home state for approximately 17 years. Approximately 17 years. Guess how many times? Guess how many times my family, anyone from my family, a single family member, my sister who owns her own business and makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, my brother who owns his own business and his wife makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, my other brother who basically the same thing, my mother, my father, anybody has come visited me when I've been living away from them in the United States, and it's still in the United States, and away from my home state, far enough away that you'd have to actually visit to have face-to-face interaction. Zero times in 17 years. Do you know why? Because that's my responsibility. You kidding me? Why is that my responsibility? They won't even freaking call me. They will not even call me. That's how much they don't like me. For whatever reason, don't know why, they're just jerks. They don't even, when they call me when they want something. So people are jerks, and I've had this treatment almost every single day of my entire life. People just come up to me out of nowhere and just total assholes. So this has nothing to do with you being male or female. It just has to do with people. This treatment that Paula is getting, that Paula didn't get when Paula was a man, well, welcome to my world. I am a man. I've been a man my whole life, and I get treated the worse than the way that you're describing. So don't even start with me with that crap. So another thing Paul brings up is that women apologize for being right. Okay. Boo hoo hoo. Boo hoo 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 hoo. I've never had to apologize for being right. Oh wait, yes I have. Furthermore, women do not apologize for being wrong. I can't tell you how many times I've proved a woman wrong in a nice way, and they haven't apologized to me. I can't tell you how many times I have helped a woman out of the kindness of my heart. Just been like, oh here, this happened. Here, watch out. Let me grab that for you, and not received a thank you. I know I don't do it looking for a thank you. I do it because try to be a good person. I don't go around looking for thank yous from people, but I just do it because I treat people the way that I would like to be treated. And I don't even get a thank you from these people. It's like, these people are ridiculous. Talks about how men need to honor women's uniqueness. Real men honor women's uniqueness. If you're not honoring a woman's uniqueness, then what the hell? You're a scumbag. What the hell's wrong with you? Real men recognize the whole thing is such hypocrisy. Men treat women differently. It's wrong. Then they need to honor our uniqueness. Wait a second. That's what we're doing. Your uniqueness is being very much honored when we're saying things to you like, you know what, you're wrong. And, makes another mistake. Paul makes another mistake saying that women are more powerful than they know. This is true. Paul is actually right here. Women have all the power. Women have all of the power. 800% of the power goes to women. 8% of the power goes to men. Women have all the power. Believe me, pretty much everything I do in my life is because of women. And most men can say that. Like, yeah, I want to please a woman. I want to get a woman. I want to be with a woman. I want to be around women. All the stuff that we do is to please women, make women happy. And people are up in the arms crying right now. All these states are passing these really hard abortion laws. Yeah, you think that's taking away your rights. I get it. It's not attacking women. It's not about attacking women. That's not what these states are doing. They're not going, I'm attacking women. I just want to hurt women and get them. No, they're trying to protect unborn children. Trying to protect infants. Do I agree? It doesn't really matter what I think. Here's the deal. If you need to get an abortion, get an abortion. If you're a dirty hoe bag irresponsible slut and you need to get an abortion, maybe don't be a dirty hoe bag slut who's irresponsible, right? Dirt, There are plenty of ways to keep you from getting pregnant. One way works really, 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 really well. Keep your pants on. All right, so that's Paula Williams. Go ahead and check out that video. Believe me, it's cringy. There's a lot of bad stuff in there. Um, you know, TEDx really scrapes the bottom of the barrel. This got a standing ovation. It wanted to make me vomit when I saw that. It's like people think this is good. This is terrible. This is some crazy person telling you about how they're crazy. Literally, this is a person who's extraordinarily out of touch with reality. Going, look, here's my reality. It's this and that. Oh, you believe in spells and fairies too, huh? No, this person is not a person you want to listen to. Trust me. I've seen too many people like this. It's like they have some level of authority and they think they know what they're talking about. This person was given a microphone, put on stage, told to preach to millions of people across the country. It's not a person you should be listening to at all. Really, that's this essentially. Why would you listen to, say, Chris Evans' opinion on politics? What does it matter? What's special about him? Oh, he's an actor. Okay, yippee! You can pretend to be something you're not in a situation you're not. Um, good. Yeah, that makes you an authority on politics. So anyway, my rant is over. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.